So we're steering in Europe and still talking football as we look ahead to Wednesday's slate of fixtures that will close out week 4 of the UEFA Champions League. Several big teams will be in action, including reggae boy Leon Bailey and his Aston Villa team, who travel away to face Club Brugge, as well as Bayern Munich, who will be seeking a rebound against Benfica after their 4-1 defeat to Barcelona. Meanwhile, Barca will play Cervena Zvezda, that's Red Star Belgrade, with Inter Milan tackling Arsenal. In our feature game, Paris Saint-Germain will host Atletico Madrid live on SportsMax. That will be 4 o'clock Eastern Caribbean time, 3 in Jamaica. Now, ahead of the clash, the PSG coach Luis Enrique hinted that he could stick with his Russian goalkeeper, Matvey Safonov, ahead of the Italian international, Gigio Donnarumma, who started with a 1-0 win over Lens on the bench on the weekend. Here's what Enrique said. Yeah, you'll see tomorrow. I'll make the best decision for the team. The only obligation players have when they sign a contract is to be ready when the team and the coach need them. I'm lucky to have Gigio, Safonov and Tennis Tree, 3 great goalkeepers. Meanwhile, Atletico Madrid boss Diego Simeone admits his team is adapting to forced absences from defenders Jose Maria Jimenez, who is serving a suspension, and the recovering Robin Lenormand. And he also had some pre-match comments as well. We have quite a few casualties in the defense, but the team is competing and trying to find the tools to compete, as that's what we have to do. We will try to do it in the best way with the boys who will have to come on. Juan Giarango still with us. An important fixture this, which we live on SportsMax on Wednesday afternoon. Your thoughts, first of all, on the coach's pre-match comments.
I mean, yeah, you have to look what's best for your team, because we're talking about the 2 teams that as of right now are outside of that top 24. As crazy as it sounds, Bayern and Atletico Madrid need to win in order to kind of reestablish themselves in that area where they would be advancing into the next round. So, yeah, it's something that needs to be looked at in the cases of these 2 teams. Let's start out with Atleti first. With Atleti, it's a team that have not been able to find their form away from home. They've had a lot of struggles in certain situations this season. There haven't been players that have really continuously been able to come in. The acquisitions that they brought in, especially Julian Alvarez, haven't been able to respond on a consistent basis. So when you start saying, hey, I have to make the decisions that are best for the team, it means, hey, you know what? I have to look at the players that are playing best for me right now. And that usually means the players that you might not expect to be playing.
Yeah, and what about the Inter-Arsenal game, Juan? Because Arsenal have been having a bit of a stutter domestically, and they have a potentially difficult clash here with Inter.
Yeah, you know, it's funny, we were talking about this yesterday about Arsenal. I mean, if City, are going through troubles, then what's Arsenal going through? I mean, your sporting director leaves for Nottingham Forest, or at least the Nottingham Forest group of teams, and you are finding yourself in a bit of a poor run of form. So is this the perfect antidote to be able to cure all that? Yeah, it is. Now, can you find that antidote? Well, that's a different story against a team that defensively has been playing well, that in Serie A they're still contending, that still have a good portion of their nucleus basically intact going forward, and of course defending in the back. So we have to see what Arsenal end up bringing to the table, because so far, and with the injuries that they too have had, it ends up being a big question mark in terms of can they be able to score at all. And that ends up being the big question mark at the end of the day. And for Inter, they would be satisfied with just a point. Well, as crazy as it sounds, because they know that as long as they're accumulating points, that ends up being the most positive thing in this format.
Yeah, both teams undefeated at the moment, Inter and Arsenal. And although we spoke about City's stutter just now, City currently still in the top 8 based on the standings.
Oh, yeah, I mean, what, they're in 6th place, so it's not. Again, in champion, it ends up being more exacerbated because 3 in a row. Now, the way that the team has been playing so far this season, they haven't been blowing the doors off of everybody. They've been able to win 1-0. They've been able to come through late in matches. It takes a long time to develop. yeah, when you don't have Rodri, when you don't have Kevin De Bruyne, that ends up happening. It ends up being more, it's normal to see that. Now, when you start, as we said in the last segment with Mariah, if once these players start coming back, the healthy ones that are still capable of coming back for the end of the season, then maybe we'll see a different team. So like I said, it's not something to be panicking about right now. But if things don't go well this weekend for City, then many people will be a little bit more uncomfortable than they usually are.
Yeah, so who wins this Arsenal-Inter game?
Man, with these ends up being such a interesting situation. For me, it's a draw.
Any other fixture on Wednesday exciting the taste buds for you?
In terms of the matches, well, I didn't have it in front of me. I have to pull it up right now. I mean, PSG Madrid. Atalanta's been a team that I've been intrigued with. Bayern Benfica ends up being another one that of course, talking about Bayern just a little while ago and what they've been able to do at home against a Benfica that has struggled when they leave Portuguese soil. So that ends up being interesting as well. You know, I mean, not a whole stockade of matches, but there's pinpoint ones that end up being very intriguing in terms of how the table ends up acting, because now, from this point on, this is where the margin of error becomes very minimal for some teams. Of course, Bayern, Atleti, amongst many others.
Yeah, okay, we're going to leave it there, Juan, and I think we're likely to chat with you tomorrow again when we review Wednesday's matches.
Sure.
A couple of them live on SportsMax platforms as well. So we'll talk again soon. Thanks, Juan.
All right, man. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, and we go to break. We'll be back with more on the SportsMax Zone after this.